When giving a glance to a map of continental North America, you'll quickly notice three large countries: Mexico in the south, the United States in the middle, and Canada on top. Except wait, why is there a bit of America up by Canada, completely separated from the rest of the country? This is a story of just how Alaska came to be American. The settlement of Alaska began in 1784, when the Russian explorer Grigory Shelukov founded the first permanent Russian settlement on the continent, Three Saints Bay, on the island of Kodiak. From here, as the following decades went by, the Russian presence in the region would expand. However, as the costly Crimean War raged between the years of 1853 and 1856, the Russian Empire saw its coffers depleted, and as the Alaskan fur trade turned unprofitable, the Russian Tsar, Alexander II, looked for a possible buyer for the colony to alleviate the economic position of the Russian Empire. Although at first glance the nearby colonies of would-be Canada would be an obvious suitor for the territory, the British not only fought against the Russians in the Crimean War, but were also fiery rivals with the Russians, and as such, the Tsar wanted to avoid the further strengthening of British presence in the region. This left the Russians with two possible suitors. The first one, and I'm not joking, is Liechtenstein, a tiny country sandwiched between Switzerland and the Austrian Empire. Although as a nation, Liechtenstein was tiny, its prince, Johann II, was very wealthy and had very close relations with the Russian Tsar, and as such, the Tsar tried to sell the territory to him first, but seeing it as useless and barren, the prince rejected the offer, making the Tsar turn to the second suitor, the United States, which had been keen to expand its territory in North America through any means necessary. The United States, however, were at the time of the offer on the brink of its infamous Civil War, so the selling of the territory was delayed for a couple of years until the conflict could be resolved. In the meantime, discussion about its worthiness would continue in the Senate. After the war, the US Secretary of State, William H. Seward, quickly grabbed the opportunity on a renewed Russian offer for the territory, and he eagerly accepted it for the small amount of $7.2 million, which amounted to about 2 cents per acre. In the very same year, the Senate approved the purchase, and Alaska became a territory of the Union, granting the US access to the Northern Pacific and ending Russian presence in the continent. In the aftermath of the purchase, the US largely left Alaska to its own devices, as there was nothing productive to do with the land. Consequently, many in the public grew sceptical of its purchase, calling it Seward's folly, to which Seward stated,
"The purchase of Alaska was my greatest achievement, but it will take the people of the United States a generation before they realize it."
Seward would ultimately be proven right, as in the late 1890s, large deposits of gold were discovered in the region, attracting many to the territory and proving the worthiness of Alaska's purchase. On the other hand, the current Prince of Liechtenstein, Hans Adam II, claims that many in the royal family at the time would regret rejecting the offer. To further validate his achievement, during World War II, Alaska proved to be of extremely strategic importance, which catapulted its promotion from territory to state on January 3rd, 1959. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more great historical content, and if you're feeling extra generous, we've also got a Patreon linked in the description below.